Welcome to Pop-Up Camper Pro. I'm your host Eric Smith, and today we're going to talk about how camper electrical systems work. So campers have two electrical sources, commonly referred to as DC power and shore power. DC power is current from 12-volt systems such as a battery. Shore power is the amperage that you're plugging into a campground at. This pop-up camper will have a 30 amp shore power cord. Here's your 30 amp power cord. You can put a 15 amp adapter on this and allow you to plug it into a household outlet. It's important to remember when you're plugged into a standard 15 amp household outlet, if you have a rooftop air conditioner, do not run it. Don't try to run it. It might run, but you could be damaging the unit. Now when you are plugged into shore power, 15 amp or 30 amp like this plug is, two things are happening. The camper is distributing the AC power through the converter box, through the breakers, into the outlets inside the camper and the air conditioner if so equipped. Another thing that the converter box is doing is building 12 volt and distributing 12 volt to the 12 volt powered equipment inside the camper and putting a charge to the battery on the front of the camper. So to clarify, when we're plugged into the house or the campground electric, this plug here will work. That outlet back there will work as well. If we have an air conditioner on top of the unit, that is a 20 amp plug. You can tell by the little T sign in it. And we need to be plugged into at least 20, ideally 30 amp service to run the rooftop air conditioner. Now if we're going dry camping or boondocking, we're going away from civilization, getting out into the woods. We're going to be relying off the DC power system, the battery. In this instance, the lights will work, the water pump will work, the furnace will work, the water heater will work as well, but these outlets won't work. Let's talk about solar power real quick. A common question I've received over the years is, I heard I can run my air conditioner and my outlets off of solar panels. What equipment do I need to purchase? Unfortunately, here in the year 2020, it's not true. Today's technology just isn't there yet. I'm sure one day it will be, but here today, it is not. So what a solar panel does is a trickle charger for the battery system, for the 12 volt side. And basically a 40 amp panel or a 40 watt panel will deliver 2 amps per hour back to the battery under ideal conditions. An 80 watt panel, 4 amps, 120 watt panel, 6 amps, and so on. So solar panels are good for boondocking and staying off the grid longer. You can continually charge the battery back up, and the larger the panel, the faster you can do it. Knowing how many amps you need and how long you want to stay off the grid will tell you the size of the solar panel or panels that you're going to need for that trip. There's another way you can charge your battery too while you're boondocking, and that's with your tow vehicle. Plugging your camper back into your tow vehicle and running the vehicle will charge the 12 volt battery when it's wired correctly as well. Now let's say you get to your campsite and you notice that your 12 volt system isn't working one day. Well, pop-up campers will have a kill switch underneath, commonly the galley lift system, and a breaker on the battery itself. So a common failure is the kill switch. So one day you see that your camper's lights aren't working and the 12 volt equipment isn't working, find a little detent switch, commonly under the galley system, and check that. If that switch has failed, it won't allow the 12 volt system to operate. These switches are present so you can't close the camper up with the lights on and burn holes in your canvas. The other breaker on the front of the battery could be the problem too. 15 amp breakers are most commonly on 8-10 foot units with just a few 12 volt systems. Larger pop-ups will have up to a 40 amp breaker on the battery. I mentioned in the beginning of the video the converter box. In this model, it's right underneath this bench seat that I'm sitting on. So this is a box that is bringing in the shore power when you're plugged in, distributing the AC power to the outlets and the air conditioner if equipped, and building the 12 volt and distributing that and charging the battery. If you find that one of your plugs isn't working or air conditioning isn't working one day, the converter box has household type breakers in it. Check the breaker, make sure it's not tripped or needs replaced. And that's the basics for camper electrical systems. I hope you found this informative. Please subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and we'll see you next time.